This is my story. It takes place way back in 1995, February, outside Chicago. I was living with my mother, and for 2 years I was carrying a torch for this girl I went to high school with. A couple days after Valentine's Day, I decided enough was enough. I had to do something. So I knew after school she worked as a checkout girl at a supermarket. I didn't own a car, so I decided I was going to walk there to give her the card I had bought about a week earlier. Now, February outside Chicago is not good walking weather. Everything was covered in about 2 feet of the lake effect snow, and the wind was just constantly blowing off of Lake Michigan. First, when I started to walk, I felt pretty good, but after about a half mile, not so good. My shoes were soaked, my ears were burning, and the denim jacket I had on wasn't doing anything to stop the wind. But I puffed up my scrawny chest and just kept walking forward. Now, when I finally made it to the supermarket, I stopped right inside the doors and did one of these to hopefully warm up my ears some to stop them from being so red. But they would have been that red anyway for me being embarrassed. I sped walked the checkout lines and started wandering around the store looking for something the $1.75 I had in my pocket could buy. I found a king-size Snickers bar and started walking up to the checkout lines. She was the only one open, so I took it as a pretty good sign. But there was one customer in front of me, so I stood behind him. And she was ringing him up, and I was just looking around the store, trying to be nonchalant, but it wasn't working. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see that she saw me. All of a sudden, my heart jumped into my throat, and I started to panic. I started to think, I need to get out of here right now. This isn't going to work. This is a stupid idea. No, but I stayed planted. She finished ringing up the customer in front of me. I stepped forward to put my Snickers bar on the conveyor belt. I remember she picked it up, looked right at me as I was still staring down at the floor. Said, king size, huh? I was just like, yeah. And then I handed her the $1.75. She handed me 65 cents change. I picked up the Snickers bar and turned to walk out of the store. Then I was thinking, I got it, I can't do this, I can't run away, I have to do it now. And I stopped and I said, oh, by the way, this is for you. Into my jacket, trying to fumble around for the card. Remember the card? It was yellow. Out front of it, there was this little cute teddy bear looking thing, and he was holding this heart right to his chest, and he was smiling over the top of it. And on the inside of it, after you opened up, it was the same teddy bear, and he was holding the heart outstretched in his arm, and above him it said, "This Valentine's Day, I choose you." I handed her the card, and she meekly took it and said thanks. Then I bolted out of the store. After I reached the far end of the parking lot, I looked back and I could see that she was checking out another customer. There's another customer standing behind me the whole time, and I didn't even know it. As I started walking home, I felt pretty good about myself. Pretty proud of what I just did. My head was up high, walking my chest out, thinking I had really done something. Thinking back on it, she probably drove right past me and saw me trudging through the snow like it. I don't know if she ever read the card. I don't know if she ever opened it or just chucked it in the garbage as soon as I left. But that's the story of how I got this wicked case of frostbite ever.